Welcome back to Factorio MSX Gigabase. Okay, so first of all, some big changes. This hasn't changed yet, but some big changes. There is no auto fuel, whatever it's called, anymore. I've dropped it and added the functionality into my mod. So my mod might run slightly more slowly, but that's okay for now. Obviously we still have plenty of work in terms of getting this back to 6060, which is still an objective, as is fixing LDS. Okay, so why did I drop the auto fuel mod? Two things. One of the things I found wrong with low density structures was that one of the steel trains had a changed condition. So if you go to the map, you notice how we have all these weight stops everywhere. Basically my mod works on the basis that the supply trains... where's this? Out there again. Well, that's just naughty. What are you doing? Well, I had to go in that direction anyway, so let's head over to Copper Smelter 2, and we'll deal with that. And yeah, that doesn't exist anymore. Copper Smelting 2, off we go. What is that? 4 is actually what I meant. Damn. Smelting 4. Does that mean that I'm actually low on fuel? Oh, I shouldn't be. Copper smelting 4. So we're going to have to go around in a circle, unfortunately, because I went to the wrong one. So yes, two things. One, so yes, my mod depends on having like a supply home station, and also, why didn't you go down there, you moronic thing? Oh god, no, this is ridiculous. Or at least you can get round. I wish they'd put the penalty back up on going through stations higher again, so it wouldn't do this, but never mind. Because it was perfectly capable of going around the other way and not getting stopped here. So what I'm trying to talk about is, yeah, my mod needs somewhere where trains... the subscription trains, which are effectively supply, I guess, are able to fill up on resource, and then they go to a wait, or even you could call it a warehouse stop if you really wanted, where they become available to the publishers which are publishing their request. Now, that part remains fixed, and then my mod basically amends the train schedule for items after that point. So like this, for example. So that's its home, where it refuels, that's where it waits, and this is what it's been, a published request has sent it to Green Circuit Copper 2. What had happened, which is the fault of having multiple mods affecting train schedules, not necessarily the fuel train thing per se by itself. It's not really, I'm not blaming it at all. It's well coded and stable if it was just being used by itself, but having multiple ones working together, I don't think is such a good idea. Multiple mods that affect train schedules, you really need to confine it to one. So we really had to make a change so we didn't get situations like what we had with LDS, where a steel train lost its wait stop and was just picking up steel and delivering it directly to one of the LDS stops, choking it from the ability to absorb any other resource. And I want to go to manual so that we can go straight through here, because we've got quite a long train trip to deal with this guy who's annoying my day. Assuming we can get through, which we should be able to, we'll be forced to stop here. But we can open this up without opening up the escape route, and then come out here, and hopefully this will be a free path to get past all of this stuff and kill this little bug. So yeah, so there's that. And then the other thing is, of course, some of my trains are a different size. Most of them are 383s, like 98% are 383s, but we have a few 242s and a 121 as well, and the mod didn't accommodate those, so I kind of needed something to do that. And I guess the third reason is that the mod wasn't really designed for Gigabase level of trains. I'll deal with this thing and then we can talk about this a little bit more. Yeah, it's quite a long way out to this stop. We will need to swap over, and oh my goodness, I don't have my weaponry equipped. That's terrible. I've come all this way without weaponry. I have these weapons. Alright, let's see if we can survive. Where is the silly bug? There it is. Okay, that was easy enough, even without weaponry. Right, let's get out of here if we can. In some ways I should just go backwards over the path we've just come up. Between episodes I'll go and do a bit more bug hunting. So I don't know exactly where that one came from, but for now we can just run up here and get out of here. So yeah, the third reason that I was getting to is that yeah, the way it was coded was once every 20th seconds, and yeah, train. It was fine though. Once every 20 seconds, in a single tick, it would go through all of the trains, of which I had far too many, so that's why we had huge spikes. But it would go through all of the trains, and I'm going to have to slow down for this one that's coming through. There we go. Alright, we can go through now. That's not where we want to go. So yeah, that's why we had our huge spikes, and this is going to be tad annoying, but we can cheat the system perhaps. Oops, that's a bit too far on the scroll. Ooh. Here we go. If it's moving at this rate, we might be in luck. Let's head down here. We can remove that one. We can temporarily put one back in here. We need to get rid of it before these stupid trains decide that they've got great ideas to go walkabout again. So there we have it. That bit's done. Now, while I'm up here actually, I need to fix up this refueling stop. That's part of why I came here, because now these trains don't have one, because all of those items were removed. That's perfect. So this will be a fuel stop 3. Oops, not that one. That one, and we need to do the same up here because we don't have specially named fuel stops anymore. Were you trying to get to one? Who knows? There we go. So, yeah. So my mod allows for, you just have to name the train stops, fuel stop, and then the number of locomotives, so 3 for a 383, and set up handling accordingly. So in the main map you'll see that I now have fuel stop 3, which handles a 383, fuel stop 2 for a 242, and fuel stop 1 for a 121, which I couldn't do previously, but that wasn't the biggest reason. There's probably circuitry I could have done to get around that, but it's easy enough to incorporate it in the mod. Now we need to go to iron smelting 3. Now that we've done that, to do the same thing to the other sources of fuel. We will get back to LDS, don't you worry. There's a never-ending stream of things to do in this, so it doesn't matter that tech is taking forever. But this one, for example, is 2 million. It's probably the last worker robot speed that I will do before starting productivity research, because we can get some pretty good gains. I mean, you get your biggest gains relative to your research, obviously, when the research is still cheap. So the benefit we're getting now is probably starting to get a little bit marginal for the cost. And it's roughly, at this point, it's roughly about how many levels of productivity research I want to do. I basically want to, so we currently have worker productivity, mining productivity plus 30%. So in other words, 130% if you count the base 100% that you have. 130% is what we get from each mining action. So what I want to do, and that equals 50 miners according to my calculation, with all of the a due consideration that calculation needs, because it's sort of just a rough estimate really. It's the number of trains it can kind of support per minute, I guess, the 50. So 50 of speed modules and 1.3 will basically support 1 train per minute arriving and needing to be filled up. Now, my plan is to basically double the 130 to 260, which would be a mining productivity of 160 to get the 260. Because obviously you still have the 100% to add to it. So if we want to get mining productivity of plus 160, we need to go up to level 80. So that's what we will do as soon as worker robot speed 15 is finished. Unfortunately, at 40 UPS it could take a little while for worker robot speed 15. I certainly don't expect it to be finished in this episode, but we are going to try and help it along when we wage war on our faulty UPS by trying to fix up the mines, as discussed I think last episode as well. Remember how I was talking about, especially, well, even this one, I mean, just notice how the mines keep getting pushed further and further away and the bots have to travel all this extra distance. Well, if we bring the bots to the mines, it won't be quite so bad. So that's what we are going to do. Where are we? We are in not a bad spot, but I would like... Why are you stopped? I need a radar here, because that doesn't make a lot of sense. Why are you stopped? Iron plate pickup 5. Well, you're going now. Was somebody turning in? We're turning in. So I guess what I'll do is, once we start heading up here, let's go to manual so that we don't go around the corner, and we don't actually need to access the this sort of zone. We just need to get up here. Actually, we'll go into where the fuel... what happened then? Oh, I know. There's an extra piece of track there that we should get rid of. So yeah, this here needs a fuel a refuel 3 stop. And so does over there. Now, I was talking about the spiky nature and how there was an issue when you have sort of this number of trains. I don't know how many trains it is, I'm not going to count them all, but it's a decent number. I may actually make a little info window in my mod that gives you a count on how many trains you've got, just because it's an easy command to do. It's just, if I start doing it now, maybe I should run up here and actually give it some power poles, although there are some that it can pick up, which are probably a good idea for it to do so. But notice this again, it's doing the same sort of thing. It's pushing back where the miners are, so it's slowly just going to get worse and worse. Let's do that. We're obviously not going to need that one. That will do for now. Now, did I get up there? Yes. So this guy is done. Oh, we still have quite a bit there. That's interesting. Or at least enough, anyway. Okay, let us move up here and hopefully we can... No, you don't need that stuff. Let's head down to Iron Smelting 5, which I think is the last one of these, and then we'll head back to LDS. Because I don't think, having looked at it, it looks like we periodically get it to work, and then there's periods of it not working, so we are going to need to do the change discussed last episode. What sort of numbers are we doing at the moment? 183, 112, so there's only 300 net, 106 here. Yeah, 5k red and green again. But obviously space science isn't going to allow it to get to where we need it to go. And yellow science probably needs the change we did to blue science. So, you know, there's there's plenty of tweaks that we are going to need to do on this base, or we'll smoothly be doing our 6 launches, 6,000 science per minute, and 60 UPS as well. Good job. Got that just in time. So there'd be nothing going up here except a fuel train. Oh, oh, that's one way to stop. And the same deal over here. And I think that will cover our fuel needs. So yeah, the difference with my mod in terms of not having a spike is that already in my mod I have a process, I guess is the easiest way of describing it, where whenever a train pulls into a train stop, it's already going into a... Oh, that's interesting. There you go. My mod is working. So presumably you've got fairly low fuel. It looks fairly low. It only needed to be one, but they're probably all pretty similar amounts. Right, let us see who... So it's a copper this time. Do you have poles? Good. That's just 2, so that's not the whole business. one there. Maybe another one there. That should keep it quiet for a little while. Now, I got to this one, didn't I? Yes. So yes, to handle the requests, basically the way I do it is when a train arrives at a station, that's an event generated by the game, which you can trap and lure and respond to. So whenever a train arrives in a station, I then check to see if it's arrived at a station that's part of a request, and if it has, then we respond to the request if it's, you know, in an appropriate request station. So it's probably a bit of tautology in there, but never mind. You get the general idea. So we're already checking all trains. So now what we do is we do that check, and instead of just there's no request, just ignore it, or whatever else, we sort of go, okay, let's check for requests, and let's also check the state of your fuel. So we're only checking once every time a train pulls into a station, but so that could actually be a longer gap than the 20 seconds that the other mod was doing, which at least it means that the train has actually travelled, so it's likely to have changed its fuel state since the last check. And as long as we've set a large enough margin, we should be fine in terms of... Where are we going? Oh, okay, that's fine. We're going to the silo because that's the closest to LDS, and then we will try and do something good to LDS. So yeah, it's remotely possible. I'm not attending to these things quite often enough. It's a little... Oh, don't tell me. Alright, you're just going to have to bite away. We'll deal with you later. We've got other things to do. That's nice. Oh, and we've cracked the 2000. We're going to be launching an awful lot of rockets, though. I'm not going to get excited over every single 1,000. Maybe 10,000 I'll get excited over. It's certain to happen. And we've barely started our 2 million here, so... whoops, I'm going too far off to the side. The old submachine gun with old-fashioned ammo actually worked a treat for us. Okay, how are we going to do this? What we need to do is rip stuff out. Okay, we're going to have to say no more trains, thanks. That's okay, just no path away. You... How much have you got on you? 1.8k. You're not even doing anything. Go there. There's a bit of action going on up here. I should probably let it happen. The top one... well, I'd kind of like to let it turn everything into the highest level product. 27 of those. Is that going to be enough? I'm not sure. So the idea is we're going to add in a dedicated steel. Oops. Oh, this isn't going to be nearly enough, is it? No. Oh well, that will have to do for now. So what I want to do is, let's just rip out these guys for the moment. What were the settings? Copper 16,000 and plastic 16,000. Okay, that's fine. You can request steel. They stack to 100. It's not just 100 that we want. That'd be 4,800. Let's just go, say, 5,000. And you can be copper to, let's just say, 5,000. And you can be plastic to, let's say, 5,000 as well. This is going to make everything a whole lot worse, of course. And I need to auto trash steel and plastic. And I need to put away some stuff so that we have room. Let's use this one as well. I need my bots. Might need those. Probably need that as well. Let's just keep those things, and we are going to just rip all this stuff up so that we can move it. And that's not going too badly. Now obviously this is going to take a fair while, so I guess I will well, I'll speed it up at the very least, but it will probably take too long. So no, I guess I'll pause and we'll come back when we're at a decent point to start laying down the revision. And welcome back. So LDS, this is what it looks like now. We've only got this little segment here, but that won't last for long. You can't tell much by this because in actual fact there's no science really happening at the moment. As you can see, there's no consumption of science because we're not doing any launches because no LDSs are getting out. That's fine. Okay, what we need to do is basically add in another one of these, and let's just do a B. I've dropped all of my blueprints deliberately. Those boxes might be a bit of a nuisance. Let's clear all that stuff. We don't need that. Actually, so this one will be a dedicated steel platform, and aside from the volume of stuff that's going through, the point of this is that there we go. Perfect. The point of this is to enable, so the trains I can only basically have them call one at a time per platform. So the problem was we needed, I mean, if there was a steel train here, it would pull out and would immediately replace it with a plastic train and then a copper train, or whatever we needed at the time. Then maybe things would work out, but it doesn't quite work that way. So yeah, let's start with, say, 4 We'll unload into 4 boxes. That should be fine. If not, we can easily increase it. It's harder to know if you are able to decrease it once you've committed. We can probably reduce this one up here. Okay. So, that one is LDS 1 drop. This will be LDS 1 steel. 1 steel. We don't appear to be getting power through here just yet. That's okay though. Alright. So that's all we needed to do, basically. So now I might just get another blueprint. We can copy all of that. Tick. Don't know what that lot was, but just want to get rid of that and that. So that we can rotate it around. And place like so. I might give this a different symbol just so it's a little bit more obvious to pick out from my inventory. That's what we wanted. Tick. There you go. Oh, you are doing LDS, so that at least is a good start. So, what exactly is the problem here, guys? How about that? Does that get rid of the problem? Right. So, are we all charged up? No, we are not. This end needs to be... needs that done to it, basically. Very good. Alright, so that's one segment back. Okay, we can probably lose this now. 169 Logibots. I'm going to have to get rid of them fairly soon. There we go. Actually need this guy out to the side anymore. Yeah, they'll share power across quite nicely. We are missing some resources, but that's okay. We deposited a large number of them right here. And there you have it. There's another segment. Now, what happened to... There it is there. What I need is actually probably basically all of this through to there. I will get rid of train publishers because I don't want them to be auto-placed. Anything else? No, that's probably fine. So I might have to move some of those provider chests. I shouldn't. Yeah, that's kind of what I would expect. The top one here is too high up now because we've had to lower everything by 2, but the bottom one is kind of perfect. I'll have to put those back when we're done. That's the one. So we'll have to get rid of that and that so that we can finish off these tracks. Whoops. I'll worry about the signals at the end. For now, let us just get the rest of the second LDS stack in place. Now there should be enough material for this from there, I think. And yes, it does look like there was, although we might be a single one of these guys short, possibly. Yeah, we definitely need that. Not sure. Well, you can have all of those for starters. We certainly don't need those. And you can have those, and you can have those. Alright, third and final segment. Fortunately, because I don't really want to spend all my days just ripping up constructions and throwing them back down again. Sure, there's more to Factorio than just that. Let's find the... this time I think both of these are going to be too high. Because obviously we've now come down 2 sections. So I'll get rid of all of that, and then we will place this segment just on top, like so. We need more rail. I do have more rail over here, I'm pretty sure. Yes, that one off the rail. And although the only reason we've got our UPS back is because science is not doing anything, it is kind of nice to have the UPS back, helping us out. In this reconstruction. Okay, let's get these rails connected. We'll get the signaling right very soon. Final segment before we basically have our UPS stack turned to glory. Time for a sip of water. stations. Ghosts at the moment, it looks like, but I'm pretty sure I have stations in one of these. There's those ones. How about up here? Not to mention this guy. Yep, there we go. So, are we short green inserters? We might be. We get any up here? No, from the looks of things. Okay. Bit of luck, we have some down here. We have those, we have those, we have those. Hopefully that's enough. Because I don't think I have disposed of any, so it should be enough. Oh, we needed more, of course, because of these, yes. How silly of me to be forgetting so soon after we placed them, but still, I did have extras. So, you a ghost or are you real? I think you're a ghost. We need a few more. It's vaguely annoying. Alright, never mind. So, PP. Oh, and that one is not being copied over. Alright, well, let's get rid of steel from there. Let's sort out this one at the top. Let's get our legs back in. Okay, so steel goes to this one, I believe. Yep. Right. That's LDS1 drop. This is LDS1 steel. There's a train counter there. Miners, you can just wait. Now, these are arithmetic combinators. We need a train counter and a train publisher. Powered, yes, by that. Except your steel. And it's divided by negative 32,000. And we need the red wire that I don't have just sitting on me, but hopefully I have just sitting in a box down here. Of course, it's all the way down at the bottom. It's in that box. Let's just grab the lot. It's in that box. Those are our blueprints. We'll try and remember them. So, yeah, you are like that, except it is steel. And we need a red wire from here over to you. We need a red wire from there to there. We need a red wire from there to there. We've forgotten this wire, but only temporarily. And you read train contents. And did I put one from here to here? No, but I have now. LDS1 steel, good. You are enabled when trains on the way is less than P. And we're getting steel from, not Big Bro actually, from the old steel, I think, for that one. So that is how that works. Now let's sort out these ones quickly. Let's go and fix the signal up. That's probably a mistake as well. It's going to cause issues. More issues than it's actually helping, so let's do that. Where are you trying to get to? Okay. Hopefully these trains can exit. So this exercise has probably worsened our UPS slightly. But that is okay, because next episode we start our war on UPS, and it's a war that will take no casualty, or no, I don't know. We'll do something anyway. We will do something appropriate to improve everything. So what are you? Your Q. So that's why this is getting no. No, it is. It's okay. Is there just no plastic in the system? Whoa. Maybe that is the case. No plastic there. Oh, that's right. I do need more plastic trains. Because this area has completely dried out. We have this guy here, so there's something we can do there, but we've done far too much this episode already. So thanks for joining me. I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye bye for now.